Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good evening.
And good night.
From another opening, another show.
The Musical Theatre Podcast.
It's Jane.
And Michael.
In the Gawler Civic Centre's salubrious podcasting studio. We are coming off the end of some very bad colds, so please excuse any little coughs and sneezes and wheezes.
This is episode number 9.
It is. Now, last week we revealed what was behind door 9. So what are we talking about today, Dil?
The Pajama Game.
The Pajama Game by Adler and Ross. If you're a new listener to our lovely program, we'd like to let you know that under the copyright laws of Australia and internationally, we are unable to put excerpts or any music or even sing a bit of a song from the show. No, do not finish that part of that sentence. No. We really cannot. So, what we've done is we've put together a playlist on Spotify that has as many parts of the show from original cast recordings or later a complete cast recording, so that when you listen to this, you could have both open simultaneously, and when we get to a plot point, you could press stop and go and listen to the song, or listen to the podcast, and then treat yourself to the whole album afterwards.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, well, that's what I would do. But if you go, oh, that particular thing sounds interesting, you can flip over to the playlist. Links to the Spotify playlist are available from our socials and also where you actually listen to the program. There might be the original Broadway cast, London cast. Did you know, my friend?
What?
That the Australian cast, while on a whirlwind tour in New Zealand, recorded an EP of some selections from the show.
Right.
So it's got about 5 to 7 numbers on it. The EP was only ever released in New Zealand, so it's super rare collector's item.
Wow. How much would that be worth today?
Oh, I don't know. It's funny with very niche things that if it's auctioned, it could go sky high between two really keen people.
Well, you know me. I love to go op shopping and go garage sailing.
Well, I know what you should be keeping your eye out for now.
A good bargain.
Yes, because somebody might just have bundled it in with all the Kamal records and given it to the op shop. And you might have a piece of gold on your hands.
Or in amongst the Thomas Edmonds records.
Well, yes, Thomas Edmonds and Dennis Olsen in their lovely turtleneck jumpers with a blazer over the top.
Exactly.
Yes. I shall now regale you with the background of The Pajama Game. The Pajama Game was first produced by Frederick Brisson, Robert E. Griffith and Harold S. Prince. Yes, that Hal Prince.
That Hal Prince?
That is. I will get to that.
Okay.
The music was written by Richard Adler and Jerry Ross. Lyrics by Richard Adler and Jerry Ross. The book was written by George Abbott and Richard Bissell, based on the novel 7½ Cents by Richard Bissell. The original production was directed by George Abbott and Jerome Robbins and choreographed by Bob Fosse. The scenic design and costume design was by Lemuel Ayres. The Pajama Game was based on a novel, 7½ Cents, which the author Richard Bissell based on his experiences in his family's pajama factory in Dubuque, Iowa. Broadway producers Robert Griffith and Hal Prince, this was his first Broadway production at age 26, saw the story's potential as a musical and snapped up the rights, but persuading people to embark on a project like this was easier said than done. George Abbott, director and producer, playwright, screenwriter and film director, and producers whose career spanned more than 9 decades, he produced and directed over 120 Broadway shows and 40 films. He was sceptical at first, until he conceived of the idea of a subplot built around Heinz's jealousy. Richard Bissell agreed to work with Mr. Abbott on the book, and Frank Less's protégés, Richard Adler and Jerry Ross, wrote the score. The Pajama Game was their first Broadway musical. The following year, Adler and Ross co-wrote Damn Yankees with George Abbott. Sadly, we will never know what heights they might have scaled building on those 2 successful musicals, as Jerry Ross died at the age of 29, soon after Damn Yankees debuted. These daring producers gave the brilliant young choreographer Jerome Robbins his first chance to direct. Robbins, in turn, gave a brilliant young dancer Bob Fosse his first job as choreographer of a whole production. Their casting was also adventurous. They selected John Raitt, country singer Bonnie Raitt's father. John had endured a series of flops after playing Billy Bigelow in the original production of Carousel in 1945. The two leading ladies, Janice Page and Carol Haney, had never appeared on Broadway before, and ex-vaudevillian Eddie Foy Jr., who played Hines, hadn't been in a major Broadway production for 20 years. Understandably, securing backers for this show proved challenging. Eventually, several members of the company chipped in, including Mr. Abbott himself, who pitched in $28,000, which is around $350,000 in today's money. Although getting the show off the ground was a bit of an uphill climb, the work came together rather smoothly, and only one number had to be cut. The Pajama Game experienced tremendous houses and great feedback in the New Haven tryout. However, the New York advance was so dismal it looked like the show was destined for a short run. Opening night, 13th of May 1954, changed all that. The audience cheered and the critics heaped praise on the production, with comments like, "The best book show since Guys and Dolls," and Jean-Luc Godard called it the first left-wing operetta. The Pajama Game totaled 1,063 performances on Broadway, while the road company traversed America for 2 solid years. The original production received 3 Tony Awards: Best Musical, Best Choreography, and Best Featured Actress for Carol Haney. Warner Brothers paid $750,000 for the movie rights in 1954 dollars. They had a budget which allowed for 1 film star. Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, Dean Martin and Gordon MacRae were all considered for the part of Sid, but ultimately John Raitt was contracted to repeat his Broadway role. This left room for a female film star, so the charms of Doris Day won out over Janice Page, who was the original Babe. Carol Haney, Eddie Foy and almost all of the Broadway cast made the transition to film. George Abbott co-produced and co-directed the film with Stanley Donen, who had danced in Abbott musicals back in the 40s and since become a screen director. For example, 7 Brides of 7 Brothers, On the Town and Singing in the Rain. Bob Fosse used the film medium to his advantage and expanded his innovative and original choreography. The result was one of the few accurate film representations of a Broadway musical. Though the songs Her Is, A New Town is a Blue Town and Think of the Time I Saved were dropped, as was a new song which had been written specially for Doris Day. Before the show had made it to the big screen, the Pajama Game had its London premiere. The London production opened at the Coliseum in 1955, and of course there were some Australians involved. Minor roles were filled by Terry Donovan, Myra de Groot and Patricia Vivian Lowell, all of whom ended up in Neighbours at one time or other, and valet Mr. Donovan, who just passed in July 2026, before the recording of this program.
And our condolences to the family.
In late 1955, J.C. Williamson's announced that it had secured the Australian rights to the Pajama Game. This led to much speculation about who the stars would be. At that time, and for a good decade or more, they usually would be B-grade imports from London or New York. Much to the surprise of the Australian theatre world, J.C. Williamson's cast a major musical entirely from fresh local talent. Bill Newman as Sid, Tony Lamond as Babe, Keith Peterson, Tiki Taylor and Jill Perryman rounded out the lead cast. The company also included Frank Sheldon. So that's both parents of friend of the podcast, Tony Sheldon.
Yay!
Hi, Tony.
Love you, Tony.
Miss Lamond reminisced. All our names were made in that show. When the run was extended, Frank and I made a down payment on a block of land. Their little son Tony had travelled with them. By the time the tour finished, he was 2.5 years old and knew every song in the show. I bet he still does now.
Yes, exactly.
The only import was the director Fred Hebert. He'd been one of the Broadway production's 2 stage managers. J.C. Williamson's entrusted the job of recreating Bob Fosse's signature choreography to their young resident ballet mistress, Betty Pounder. She spent 5 weeks in New York watching the show night after night, writing out the complicated dance moves. At Australia's Pajama Game premiere in Melbourne on the 2nd of February 1957, the front of house staff wore colourful pyjamas. One reviewer remarked, "For the first time in theatrical history, the JCW management has taken the bit in its teeth and given us an American musical with an all-Australian cast, and its courage has been signally rewarded. And so shall there be more of it. We
Hell
do
yeah.
not need foreign imports."
We have the talent.
Oh.
Let's utilise that.
Absolutely. The Pajama Game was the first major musical produced in Australia after the arrival of television. Tony Lamond, Frank Sheldon and other members of the company were featured in the opening show when GTV Channel 9 held its first broadcast. The Pajama Game ran for more than 5 months in Melbourne, toured all the mainland capitals, and undertook an exhausting 10-city tour of New Zealand. In Auckland, members of the company recorded the 7-inch EP of highlights. The marathon tour ended at the Theatre Royal Adelaide, which was in Hindley Street.
Wow.
Got knocked down to become a multi-storey car park.
Is that where the famous Mo statue is, where the theatre was?
No, because Mo is in front of a lovely building. I believe the Theatre Royal was further west.
Okay.
And is now an ugly multi-storey car park.
Thanks for that wonderful history of the Pajama Game, Jane. Sounds like you've done your real research there.
Oh, I had a ball. I've read so many interesting things, and we've discovered Theatre History Australia, which is a great website and resource, but also you can become a member for free to help promote and educate about our wonderful theatre history.
Search Google, Theatre History Australia. Don't forget, Jane,
what?
On our podcast, we've got trivia.
Trivia?
Trivia.
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 When's that happening?
Very, very shortly.
Don't forget to stick around while our special guest reveals the next show behind the door. Michael,
Jane.
it's now your turn to delight us with the plot of the Pajama Game.
Act 1. The curtain's up and we see the Sleep Tight Pajama Factory in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We've been there.
Yes, I remember that day distinctly. It was misty, obviously, because we're by the rapids, but surprisingly, they're in the middle of town. I thought we would have to go on a hike, but they're right there. We had a lovely time.
Hines, Sleep Tight's time study man, reveals a factory shop floor where there is a double row of sewing machines. Hines rushes the seamstress to finish their work. Prez, the union president, enters, flirting with 2 of the female workers. Joe, a factory worker, asks Prez about the union's demand for a 7.5-cent raise and warns them if they do not get the raise, the workers will strike. Head of the company Hassler enters and accuses one of the seamstresses of wasting material along with yelling at others to turn off the lights. Hassler's secretary Gladys and Hines confess to the audience that he is in love with her. Hassler demands Gladys to write a letter to the board of directors stating that the raise is unneeded. The workers complain about Hines and the speed of the production line with their need for a raise. Sid Sorokin, the attractive new superintendent, is the talk amongst the workers. Sid, with some helpers, begin to fix a machine, and rather than helping, the man agitates Sid as he pushes one of them. The helper claims that he's been injured and files a complaint with the grievance committee. Sid laments the difficulty of having moved to a new town for his job, but is determined to make the best of what he's got, even though Hassler reprimands him. The grievance committee, Babe Williams, Brenda, and May, arrive on the scene. Babe interrogates Sid regarding the pushing incident while he flirts with her. Hines tells Sid Hassler wants to see him in his office. The break ends. The women re-enter, moaning again about the pace of the work. While Joe grumbles to Prez about the slow state of the raise negotiations, Babe tells the other women she knows the pushed worker wasn't injured. The women mock Babe about how she's noticed how attractive Sid is. Babe denies this, saying he's not her type. Gladys enters Sid's office and Mabel, Sid's secretary, sits at their desk. Poopsie enters, selling tickets to the annual company picnic. Hines enters and Poopsie asks him if he's doing his knife-throwing act at the picnic. Poopsie leaves as Gladys puts a note on Sid's desk. Hines again accuses Gladys of flirting with Sid. They both get into a heated argument ended with Gladys storming out. Mabel tells Hines about his jealousy with the promise that he won't be jealous again. Mabel makes up different alluring scenarios that involve Gladys and other men to test Hines and see if he can control his jealousy. Hassler is complaining about the workers, yelling at Gladys when he sees that the company ledger book is out on her desk. It's supposed to be locked away. Meanwhile, Sid asks Mabel questions about Babe. Mabel tells Sid that she was engaged to be married once. Sid calls Prez and tells him to send the grievance committee, Babe, up to his office. Mabel leaves. Sid asks Babe out on a date. Babe rejects him because he represents management while she represents Labour. Sid is disappointed with his actions, both with her response and with himself for falling for her. Company picnic time. Prez begins flirting with Gladys, telling her that she is beautiful and that his wife doesn't understand him, but she rejects him. The workers sing the company song Sleep Tight. Prez introduces Hassler as he speaks about the dangers of rising production costs. Sid flirts with Babe as some of the couples participate in the three-legged race. Hines, drunk as a skunk, begins his knife-throwing act. Gladys disciplines him as he throws. Hines calls for a volunteer to stand with an apple while throwing his knives at it. Babe gladly volunteers. Sid, nervous about Babe, stops Hines and his knife-throwing act. Babe agrees to take a walk with Hines. Sid and the company celebrate how much they are enjoying the picnic. As the picnic begins to wind down, Prez flirts with May, who willingly accepts his advances. Sid visits Babe and her father Pop at their house. Pop leaves for his railroad job as Sid gives Pop his stamp collection to examine. Babe cooks him an omelette. Sid objects that Babe is using small talk to avoid him, which she denies flatly. They kiss. Babe cautions Sid that the issue of the raise will come between them, but he disagrees as he loves her and she loves him. Later, Prez tells the workers that Hassler has called a meeting with the union leaders for the next day. Here comes Babe as she tells them she has a date with Sid but won't be joining them after work. Sid enters as the happy couple reaffirm their love. Hassler declines to give the workers the raise. Prez demands a production slowdown with all the women at their machines as they begin working in slow motion. Hines enters and demands they speed up to increase production. Babe causes a commotion as she breaks down the entire production line. Sid fires her and tells himself to forget her existence. End of Act 1. Here we go with Act 2 of The Pajama Game. We see Prez leading a union meeting. At the end of his speech, Gladys and the two male assistants provide the evening's song and dance entertainment. Later on that night, Prez with a group of workers hold a meeting in Babe's kitchen to discuss ways to force Hassler to give in to their demands. Pop's home is the meeting place, and it nears its end. Pop tells Babe that he has bumped into Sid, whom she has not seen since her firing at the corner tavern, inviting Sid to come over. Sid arrives, tells her that he loves her and they should continue going out together despite the fact that they're on opposite sides of the wage dispute. Babe disagrees with Sid and runs off to her bedroom, where she tells herself that she does love Sid and is unsure what to do. Back at the factory, Hines tells the women in the factory how much the slowdown upsets him because, as a time study man, living life by the clock is very important to his way of life. We shift to Sid's office. Hines is on the phone while Mabel sees today's tabloid headlines. Hassler enters, saying repeatedly that he will not give in to the workers' demands. Max, one of Sleep Time's regional salesman, shows them that the pajama pants are defective. Sid realizes that there's not enough stitches in the waistbands. Hassler accuses the workers of sabotage. After reminding Gladys of the board of directors meeting set for the next day, Hassler hands her a new notation for the ledger book. Hassler exits. Sid convinces Gladys to let him have the key to the book by flirting with her. Gladys accepts his offer and tells Sid that she knows the perfect place for a date. A secret club that can be only entered after 3 knocks on the door, followed by a special message. Prez and Babe gain entry into Hernando's hideaway as Sid and Gladys have a drink. Babe's view of Sid is blocked by other customers, but he sees her as he and Gladys get up to dance. He sits down very quickly. Gladys, who hasn't seen Babe, tries to entice Sid to the dance floor by loaning him the ledger book key for the evening. When Babe sees them, she comes to their table and tells them to watch out for Hines, who is in another jealous rage. Hines enters, drunk, with his knives. He confronts Gladys, who walks out in a rage after telling him that she's glad she never married him. Hines pops into a chair and daydreams of what married life with Gladys would be like. He imagines Gladys with a series of ever-changing suitors with whom she plays around with while he goes off to work. In his imagination, Mabel wears an angel outfit to remind Hines of his earlier vow to trust Gladys, as he is still jealous of the imaginary men. The next morning, Charlie advises Sid that the union committee is there to see him before the big union rally, which is scheduled for that same day. Sid, who has been reading the ledger book all night, tells Charlie to send them in. Sid calls Hassler, asking him to come to his office. Sid tells the committee that he thinks he has the solution to the wage dispute. Prez tells Sid that the workers are going to strike if an agreement isn't reached. Sid asks to speak to Babe as he tries to make up with her, but because of the job dispute refuses him. Babe does agree to meet with him after the union rally. Gladys warns Sid that Hines is looking for him. Hines appears at the door, takes aim with his knife, and then disappears before Sid or Gladys sees him. Gladys tells Sid that she heard something. A knife hits the wall near Sid's head. They duck as more knives are thrown. Hassler enters. A knife just narrowly misses him and is convinced that Chicago gangsters are after him. As they continue to duck from the flying knives, the union rally begins. Sid exits with a window opener in his hand, and Hines, who now has a bruise from the window opener on his forehead, tells them that he was only trying to scare Sid. Gladys leaves with Hines to bandage his head. Sid threatens to go to the board of directors meeting to tell them that Hassler has been falsifying the ledger book, after discovering that Hassler has already added the cost of the raise to the production costs, but hasn't given it to the workers. Sid reveals to the board that the slowdown from the dispute has already lost the company's customers. At the union rally, Brenda tells Prez and the workers that she saw Hassler going into Sid's office. When Brenda asks if they will win the strike, Prez tells her that they will. He and Babe explain to all the workers how much the raise adds up to over 5, 10, and 20 years. Sid tells them that Hassler will approve the 7.5-cent raise if they agree not to ask for the raise. Babe hugs and kisses Sid, proclaiming their love for one another. Hines tells everyone that Hassler and the union are hosting a party at the most exclusive club in town. Back at Hernando's hideaway, Max introduces the Sleep Tight Pajama Parade, which includes Mabel, May, and Prez modelling pajamas. Hines and Gladys appear in pajamas. Hines reveals that he now trusts Gladys as he tries to move towards the 2 male dancers. Hines pulls her back with a chain. Sid and Babe enter. She is wearing pajama tops. He is in pajama bottoms. They explain that married life is fun. The entire ensemble then expresses their happiness about working together in the pajama factory. That's the end of the synopsis for Act 2 and the whole show for the Pajama Game.
And now it's time for
Trivia. In her autobiography, Doris Day recounted how, as one of only 4 cast members who hadn't appeared in the Broadway production of The Pajama Game, it was challenging to fall into the groove of a company that had been playing the show for more than 1,000 performances together. She described the experience as trying to find her place in a well-oiled machine.
That would be challenging.
The central plot of the show, Jane, with the workers demanding a 7.5-cent pay increase, was inspired by Bissell's own experiences working at a garment factory in Iowa.
Yes, his family's factory.
But one of the main problems in the factory is that the workers want a 7.5-cent raise and are willing to go on a strike to get it. Nowadays it doesn't seem like much, but the average mill garment worker in 1954, when the play was written, made an average of about $1.25 US an hour, or about $50 US a week. The raise would add $3 US to each paycheck, so the 7.5 cents would be about a 6% increase.
Oh, that's very good. Can see why Hassler was trying not to pay it.
Shirley MacLaine.
Lovely, love her.
We love Shirley MacLaine. Was in the chorus of The Pajama Game, and on Wednesday, May the 26th, 1954, less than 2 weeks after the opening, Carol Haney broke her ankle, and MacLaine had to go on for her. MacLaine has said that she had to go on for Haney without ever being rehearsed for the role. Haney was out the show for approximately 3 weeks, although it seems that there may have been performances during this time when Haney went on, but MacLaine did at least some of the dancing for her.
Oh, right.
On the second night that MacLaine was on as an understudy, her performance was seen by Hollywood producer Hal Wallace. She soon signed a 5-year contract with Wallace. When Haney returned, MacLaine went back to the chorus, waiting to be called to Hollywood. 2 months later, she was still waiting when Haney missed another performance due to laryngitis.
Oh, dear.
Herbert Coleman, a Hollywood assistant director who had worked with Hitchcock on 2 of his recent films, saw her show at this time. When Coleman thought she'd be perfect for Hitchcock's next film, on which he was going to be the associate producer, when Alfred Hitchcock met Shirley MacLaine, he agreed that she was perfect for the role. He worked out a deal with Wallace, and MacLaine went to Hollywood to make her first film, Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry.
Oh, right.
MacLaine has told a slightly different version of this story over the years. In one version, she said that Hitchcock saw her in The Pajama Game, but according to several other sources, MacLaine herself in an interview with Premiere Magazine, Hitchcock did not see her in the show.
Reminiscent of 42nd Street.
In what way?
Well, the plot, 42nd Street, where the understudy gets to go on.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yes. In the hit 2006 Broadway revival that won the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical, it starred Harry Connick Jr. It was in this musical, The Pajama Game, that Harry Connick Jr. made his Broadway debut as Sid Sorokin.
Particularly pleasing to a lot of ladies in the audience and half the men that he spent a lot of time with his shirt off, apparently.
Va-va-voom. Jane, you've got a trivia fact.
I do have an interesting fact. Now, you may recall me saying in the history that Frank Lesser's proteges were Adler and Ross. He did a little bit more than that for the show. He actually wrote one of my favourite songs, There Once Was a Man, as well as A New Town is a Blue Town, but uncredited. So that's interesting of him, very supportive of the youngsters.
Exactly. You have to support the young talent coming through. Don't forget, listeners, stay tuned for our special guest when he opens the door to our next musical on Another Opening, Another Show, the Musical Theatre Podcast.
And finally, we have received some listener feedback.
Wonderful! Huzzah!
Every single month asking you to write in, use the socials, put a comment on Spotify, or email us directly at aoas2025@hotmail.com.
Well, you know, someone has to be the first, Jane. Someone has to lay the foundations.
Spotify user. He's referring to my question during the West Side Story episode where I was talking about Sweeney Todd, and I said, was it Toby who sings Not While I'm Around? Carl off Marleman says, confirmed. Also, he'd like to explain to me when I said, Oh, I didn't realise Jerome Robbins was the director of the film too. This is really what happened. Robert Wise directed the film A West Side Story. Robbins started, but took too long with the dance sequences and was fired. But he is generally listed as co-director in the credits.
Well, there's a moral to that story.
Don't faff about.
Time is money.
Yes, particularly on film.
Exactly.
So, thank you, Karl Marlerman. We love some feedback. We like to learn.
We love more feedback as well. If you have any questions for us, you can go on our socials and you can go on our email address and send us an email.
Yes, or you can drop us a sound recording. And we have a sound recording from listener Rodney.
We love Rodney.
Yes, well, he was a guest on the company episode right in the early days of the podcast. He has this to say.
Just a very quick Pajama Game story, because I am also a big fan of the Pajama Game. It was the second show I ever was on stage for. I was part of the ensemble when it was done here in 2000. It was, yeah. The story I have concerns a revival of the show in the 1980s in London with the great Tommy Steele playing Sid Sorokin. And there is a line of dialogue that is really, really awful and is based very much in the 1950s. Sid says this line, "I think a little physical punishment is good for a woman sometimes." Now, if that makes people cringe today, as it should, it made people cringe in the 1980s. And Tommy Steele said this line, and there was some hissing from the audience. Tommy turned to the audience, shrugged his shoulders and went, it's the 1950s. I think the audience would have laughed at that. Yeah, I think they still have that line, by the way, in the show. Good friend of mine was in it more recently, and I asked him whether that line was in it, and he believed it was. It's not a great line, but it's a fantastic show. That's my 7.5 cents.
That was absolutely wonderful, Rodders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rodney. And everybody, we encourage you to drop us a line. You can use the social media to record a sound recording as well as type to us. Thanks so much. Coming up soon, Mark Trevorrow, known to a number of people as Bob Down, will be opening the next door on our Advent calendar of shows. I wonder what it could be. Lovely listeners, we are delighted to have with us Mark Trevorrow. He is a very clever singer and actor and comedian.
He's a performer in his own right.
Absolutely, because I introduced him like that. A lot of you will know the wonderful creation that is Bob Down.
Oh, I love Bob Down.
I know.
His hair looks like a cricket helmet from the 70s.
Yes.
And I love that. I love the way Bob is dressed. He's a man of style, and he's with it.
He's a man of polyester.
I love that. I love Mark, and I love Bob Down.
Yes.
I love Bob Down more.
I don't know. By the end of this, you probably love
I
Mark.
might love Mark as well.
That's right. But he's married, so it's come.
Yes.
And so are you.
But ladies and gentlemen, we present Mark Trevorrow. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hello, Michael. Hello, Jane. How are we?
We are on the back of this horrible cold, so
Oh, yeah.
pardon the cold.
We've had it too.
And it's 10 degrees here in Gawler, so it's bloody cold.
It's freezing here in Sydney too, by the way. It's freezing.
Oh, that's unusual. I mean, we are usually
cold.
Now, I'm going to now ask you, why are you the person most in love with the Pajama Game? What
I guess I must have seen it on the movie on TV when I was a kid, and very early on bought the album soundtrack. And there is just something about that show and the people who created it. The guys that created it, Adler and Ross, only created 2 shows, and both of them were unbelievable smash hits. The longest running shows of the Broadway shows of the 1950s, The Pajama Game and Damn Yankees.
Yeah.
And then one of the team died young.
Yes,
he died only in his 20s.
Yeah, he had leukemia.
And it was just tragic because they had so much. Their lyrical and musical gifts as collaborators, they're right up there with Kander and Ebb, and I think they're a big influence on Kander and Ebb actually, because the combination of musicianship, gorgeous melodies, and playful, brilliant lyrics. And The Pajama Game it was the longest running show on Broadway until My Fair Lady. And it's about such an unusual subject. And also because I think the film, they really pulled it off as a movie musical.
Yes.
in 1957, starring Doris Day and the beautiful John Raitt. What a voice. And so I think it's the combination of the stars, how brilliantly Bob Fosse, of course. It's Bob Fosse's first show as a choreographer, and his choreography is magnificent in the film. And I just think there's not a dud. It's one of those shows that there is not a dud song in the show.
Oh, too right. They wrote one song that got cut between tryouts and New York. Only one thing had to be cut.
Yeah.
And
of course, they cut a few of the songs. A few of the songs were cut for the film.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, there's just something about that show that I've been obsessed. And the other mate of mine we've been friends since she was 18 and I was 21, and that's Gina Riley. And we were both obsessed with it. We both know every word of every song. And also, there's just such great opportunities for great vaudeville, style comedy in it too. Because there were vaudevillians in the show, particularly Eddie Foy, who's in the film. If you haven't seen the film, you need to track it down. For years, it was really hard to find the film, and then finally, it was put out on DVD. When DVDs were the big thing, and they did a really beautiful restoration of it. And if you can get hold of it, it's magnificent.
Well, Mark, you go to any cash converters, and you might be able to find it on DVD for $1.
When Warner's finally put it out on DVD, it was a double-sided DVD, and there was one side that was in a crop, scan and crop, and the other side was in widescreen, and so it was and it was when I very first had a widescreen telly, the early cathode ones, and oh my goodness me, the sound, the picture, it was so thrilling to see it fully realised and fully transferred, because it's in the most beautiful Warner colour, which is like candy coloured. It's magnificent.
The Lemuel Ayres set and costume design from the Broadway version was retained for the movie.
Well, a lot of people from the Broadway show in it, which is wonderful to see too.
Something like more than 90%. Because they agreed to one film star, they were allowed to then say, we want to bring everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit what happened with Damn Yankees too. I think there was quite a fight. Fosse had to fight hard to make sure that Gwen Verdon starred in the film, and the compromise was to have Tab Hunter play Joe, the young. Yeah. But I think Tab Hunter's absolutely beautiful in the film. I think he's really sweet and wonderful in the film, even though he was given quite a hard time by the rest of the cast.
The same with having Doris Day in Pajama Game. I don't think we lost anything. It's a shame for James Page she didn't get the chance, but
But Carol Haney is just magnificent in it.
Yes.
Wow. I think it's just a combination. Just as I say, and also the fact that it's set in Milwaukee. It takes place in a pajama factory where the workers go on strike for a 7.5 cent raise, which is the most unusual idea for a musical. And you wouldn't have thought that it would be a smash hit, particularly in the middle of the 50s, which was such a like a boom time economically for the United States and most of the rest of the Western world. Yeah. But and then because it's set in Milwaukee, you've got lots of polkas and lots of wonderful German kind of influence, German music influence. It's extraordinary.
I'm going to be that person. It's actually Cedar Rapids, not Milwaukee.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And we've been there.
We've been to Cedar Rapids.
What? You've been to Cedar Rapids? Oh,
Yes.
I thought, well, that's Wisconsin, though, isn't it?
Cedar Rapids is in Iowa.
Iowa. Oh, my God. Well, next door, anyway.
Yes, it is very, very the Midwest.
Yeah, but there's a lot of German influence in the Midwest.
Absolutely. I'm going to hit our list of questions.
Also, I should just say, Jane, that for people who are not aware of the Pajama Game, if you don't know the Pajama Game, you will know the songs: Hernando's Hideaway,
Oh yeah,
Hey There, Steam Heat, big hit songs from that show.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, people who don't know from musicals. I remember once at the Adelaide Cabaret Festival when Mark Nadler had the supper club, aging rock star was asked to come on and sing, and they must have racked their brains for quite a while to come up with a song that he might know, that Mark Nadler might know. Yeah. They came up with Hey There.
Oh, yes.
And he couldn't do it in a pink fit, but...
he couldn't do it?
No, well, Nadler did the dictaphone part, and it completely threw him. He wasn't expecting another voice to come on. I'm
going to send you a recording, an audio recording. We're doing Hey There in my old friend's cabaret show with Bev Kennedy and Rupert Knopfs.
Yes,
and Rupert Knopfs is the voice of Siri, does it as the voice of Siri. I'm going to give you the audio so that you can play it for your listeners because it's really funny.
This is your time for a free plug of your show.
Oh, yes. So I've been singing as myself for many years, starting on Good News Week and then presenting on ABC Radio and making albums, singing as myself. And in recent years, I've come back to singing as myself as well as keeping on going with Bob Down. So I did a 40th anniversary tour last year. We played at the brand newly renovated Thebby, which was amazing. And Rupert was in the show with me playing Bob's Nepo nephew, Philip McCrevice. And Rupert is the most extraordinary tenor and a beautiful tenor voice and a really natural comedian. And so he and I have been singing as ourselves with our beautiful old friend Bev Kennedy, who's one of the best music directors and accompanists in the country. And the three of us are doing a trio show. We opened this weekend at Ginger's upstairs at the Oxford Hotel in Sydney. We're doing 3 Sundays there. And then we're on tour, which we're very excited about. We're playing Port Kembla, we're playing Perth, we're playing Melbourne, we're playing Newcastle, we're all over the place, and you just go to bobdown.com and you can find all the dates there. And we're doing Hey There, and because Rupert, just as a sort of a funny throwaway idea, Rupert started to talk to me from the wings in the Bob Down 40th anniversary show as Siri. He does it so hilariously well that people thought they were pre-recorded, but he was just in the wings with a microphone. And then Siri sort of stole the show, and he's, well, I'm going to send you the audio so your listeners can hear some of it because it's excellent. Really funny.
Because of the copyright restraints on podcasting, bureaucracy can't really get its head around how podcasting works in Australia. You might hear other theatre shows where they will say they'll be reading the plot and then it's inserted a song. We can't do that because... Oh,
you can't put a song, even us doing a cover of it?
No. So we have a Spotify playlist that accompanies each episode, and I curate that so the the overture might be the original overture, and then when we get to Hey There, I probably would put a sensible one in, but it might be from the Harry Connick version. Yeah. Then I'll have our little special one, which will be you two having some fun.
No, he's very funny because hey there, you with the stars in your eyes.
Have you ever been in a production of the Pajama Game, Mark?
Do you know, I would have loved to have been in a production of Pajama Game, and they did it at my high school when I was in my teens, but I think I'd already just left school when they did it, and it was a real heartbreak because I would love to be in it. I think Bob should play Sid. That's my dream. I think Bob would be very, the Murwillumbah Players. I think the Murwillumbah Players should present it with Bob Down.
Well, we can talk about that in our Dreamcast that's coming up with you.
Oh, we can do the Murwillumbah Players version.
Yes, exactly.
Did I see you or see Bob sing with Melinda Schneider?
It would have been. Bob. Yes, it would have been Bob, and it was on. And I am so proud of that. It's on YouTube. It's me and Melinda Schneider singing "There Once Was a Man" at 9:00 in the morning on Studio 10.
Yes, I love that. It's one of my favourites.
Oh.
It's absolutely wonderful. If you ever want to listen to Markdown, do
Markdown?
this.
It's his brother. He works in retailing.
There you go, yes.
Yeah, go to YouTube and see Bob Down and Melinda Schneider singing There Once Was a Man.
Yeah, that through our YouTube channel as well.
And there's also a version that I put up of me and Gina Riley as Coralie, Bob and Coralie singing There Once Was a Man as well.
Excellent.
On the Foxtel show that I did. Yeah, the Bob Down show.
I can imagine Gina's voice with that one.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Which is your dream role for you in this show?
Well, it would definitely be Sid Sorokin, and I'd love to do it as Bob, because I think that would be really fun and funny.
Who is your favourite character?
My favourite character, of course, is Eddie Foy. Heinzie, because it's such a great comic clown part. A magnificent part.
And I think it's also the fact that that character gets to throw knives.
That whole knife throwing sequence is hysterical. And also I think Gladys is a wonderful character too. And of course if you play Gladys you get to do Steam Heat, which is probably one of the greatest numbers ever put on film.
What is your favourite interaction?
My favourite interaction would be when Heinzie and Mabel do I Would Trust Her. That hilarious scene where he's so jealous all the time, crazy jealous of Gladys, and he's always suspecting her of having affairs which she's not having. And so Mabel sets up, they do a duet where Mabel sets up all these hilarious scenarios. Picture this, like all the different things that she's up to, and he gets madder and wilder through the number, and then they do a soft shoot. It's like an absolute showstopper. And also I think that the interaction between Heinzie and Gladys is really funny all the way through, because it's just that his stupid jealousy, ruins everything all the time. He's a wonderful character.
What is your favourite song in the show?
I think my favourite song is I'm Not At All In Love.
Oh,
and there's another great one called Small Talk. There's two beautiful duets. But I'm Not At All In Love is Babe with all the girls teasing her about being supposedly in love with, fancying Sid. And it's a beautiful song with her doing the lead vocal and then the chorus teasing her. And then Small Talk is absolutely superb, beautiful duet between Babe and Sid. Gorgeous. It's a shame we can't sing any of them for you.
The audience would just enjoy you and me just singing the whole score. Frankly, we could do that.
Exactly. But we can't.
That's copyright. Isn't fair. That's copyright too, darling.
I know. But
wow, isn't that shocking?
Included?
The Pajama Game is well known as a film musical. Do you think that it works better or worse than the stage, or equally? Because as we covered, it's actually almost a carbon copy.
That's what I think. I think it works equally well as a musical on film, and of course, it's a triumphant show on stage. It really is one of the great film musicals, and unusually, it's a Warner's one. Mostly the great film musicals of the 50s, 40s, and 50s were MGM. Warner's had gave their musicals a tougher edge, and it's the same in Damn Yankees too. That's another magnificent film of a Broadway show by Adler and Ross.
Here's an interesting thing. You may already know this. On the very last episode of At the Movies with Margaret and David, for the end credits of their very last episode, they were asked to choose a scene from their favourite movie ever, and they chose the end of The Pajama Game.
Wow.
Yeah. I
That's
thought that was
amazing.
so out of left field, and that they both agreed on that, of all musicals.
I hope Margaret and David ended up, with David in the pajama bottoms and Margaret in the pajama top, like the fashion parade.
I have a feeling they might have, when it cut back to them, they might have been in it. Yes.
Yes,
got the long legs
that's right.
showing.
Yeah, that's
that's what they did. That's the pajama. So Doris Day appears in the man's pajama top, which works like a miniskirt. Very
very
sexy.
American show. Do you think
Very.
it would work well set outside, for example, in Australia?
Well, American musicals, to this day, people are still performing musicals with an American accent. They do it in Anastasia, for example. We're so used to Broadway musicals being done in the American idiom, I don't think it's a problem at all. But also the themes of Pajama Game are pretty well universal. And I think what's interesting to Australian audiences is the idea that it's a musical about a strike in a factory. Something very Aussie about that.
Oh, yes.
I've recently discovered the joys of the website Theatre History Australia, and the group that it is the website of. And there was, a year before Pajama Game opened in Australia, there was a musical about the 1891 miners' strike.
Oh, wow. What's it called?
Oh,
Do you remember what it's called? That's so interesting.
It has not rung any bells in my memory. I don't remember my parents or grandparents even mentioning it.
It's free membership to go and join that organisation, Mark, so you could be
a
member for free.
I have a great, great uncle who was part of all that drama as a journalist and a balladeer and a union organiser, a guy called Walter Head. Yeah, he was part of all that.
Oh. Yes, you have a rainy day rabbit hole hunt on that website.
Solidarity forever.
Indeed.
A
solidarity
makes us strong.
Yeah, don't keep singing things.
Up the workers. Up the workers. That's another great song in Pajama Game, 7.5 cents. There's just so many fabulous songs in that show that are each individually so clever and so musically beautiful. It's that combination. It's like what Sondheim does and what Kander and Ebb do. The lyrics are as brilliant as the music, and original and clever and highly amusing. And you have to listen. That's what I love about shows like that.
Yes, we could go on forever with our just mutual agreement of how much we love Pajama Game.
We can talk to you until the cows come home. We really could.
That's a different show. That's Oklahoma.
Which might be on our advent calendar of shows that we talk about on another show, the Musical Theatre Podcast.
It could well be. That'd be ridiculous if it wasn't. I'm now going to hand over to Michael to guide us through the dream casting.
Now, this is my little segment, Mark. It's called Dreamcast, where we cast the musical with the main characters with actors alive or dead. So we've given you time to come up with your Dreamcast.
No one else can do it except Bob Down, quite frankly. I think that's the way to go. It'll be Bob doing his straight Broadway acting, pretending he's straight.
Jane, who have you gone for as Sid?
I've gone for Bert Labonte.
Oh, he's fantastic. I saw Bert do the Old Friends the Sondheim cabaret here in Sydney at the Foundry a couple of months ago. Superb. He's just magnificent. He did Buddy's Blues from Follies, and he was magnificent. He's wonderful. Yes, he is good. He's really good.
I have gone for Jerry Orbach and Trevorrow. Yourself as your own man and your own...
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Well, I've certainly got the vocal chops for it now. And you see, I taught myself to sing being Bob.
Well, yes. You can't do silly things with your voice, 8 shows a week, national tour, if you don't really have a good voice under it.
See, you're in the pole position, Mark. Jerry Orbach's dead. You got the role kid. Catherine Babe Williams.
Well, it's either Queenie Vandersand as Jan Vanderstoel. If I was doing it as Bob, she would be my dream babe with a Dutch accent, with a silly Dutch Australian accent. And the other one, of course, Gina Riley.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's her voice to a T.
She is an astounding singer. And so is her child, Max, who's currently working on a show in New York, which is so thrilling.
Yes. Now, I have gone for Caroline O'Connor.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Of course.
And Michael?
I've gone for 2 actresses, Baby Newith and Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, well, both of them would be wonderful.
And different in their own ways.
But I do love the idea of Bob and Jan doing it as the stars of the Wollumbar Players.
Yes. Who have you gone as Vernon?
Heinzie, I've got 2 ones that would be insanely great. Paul Livingston, do you remember playing Flacco on the big gig? He is vocally extraordinary and also just a great clown, and he would be fabulous, would be really funny as the paranoid Heinzie. And the other one that I think would be sensational is Paul McDermott.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, wonderful singer, great clown, and can play that angry, crazy thing. You've got to be able to do that angry, crazy thing. Oh, and the other one, of course, Tony Taylor, Sheldie's partner. Yeah. Tony Taylor would be insanely great as Heinzie.
Well, I've gone for, and can I say my Heinzie and my Gladys as a combo?
No, you say your Heinzie first, and then people can work out
Oh,
who could be
okay.
a combo.
Maury Fields.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because of course we can
wonderful.
time travel in our Dreamcast.
I wonder who played Heinzie in the original Australian with Tony Lamond and all that gang. Who played Heinzie in the original?
I do have that written down somewhere.
See, this is where we need Sheldy.
Yeah, well, he'd just know. Michael, while I'm looking at my notes, can you tell us who you've picked for Heinzie?
I've picked 2 actors, Gregory Hines and Mel Brooks.
Oh,
Mel Brooks would be hilarious.
yeah.
He would be.
Oh, that's funny. And of course, Anne Bancroft would be a beautiful babe.
Oh, yes. Gladys Hotchkiss?
Yeah, Gladys. Now, well, there's only one because boy, does Gladys have to have the dance skills. I think, and also be a really good clown as well. And there's only one who could do it in my mind. That's Sharon Millerchip. I think she would be insanely great. People might have seen Sharon in one of the earlier productions of Chicago when they first revived Chicago.
I think I saw her in Chicago.
Yeah, she was so good.
Jane.
Well, as I foreshadowed, there's the other half of the pair.
You can't have Maury without
Val Gillay.
Of course. Do you know, I had a thrilling thing happen to me. I went to some party at Channel 9 in Melbourne years and years ago, and when Val and Maury were there, and Val Gillay came up to me and told me that she thought that Bob Down was such a great vaudevillian in tradition of vaudeville that she and Maury had grown up with. And it was one of the biggest compliments I've ever received in my life. Oh, wow.
Now, I have found, sorry to interrupt the Dreamcasting, the original Australian cast, Heinzie was Keith Peterson.
Don't know. I wonder what else.
Thanks to theatreheritage.org.au.
So, Jane, Gladys, I've chosen Cheetah Rivera or Sutton Foster.
Oh.
Yeah, both great. Sutton Foster would be a great babe too.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other one who'd be a really great Gladys would be Jane Turner.
Oh yes.
But I think Sharon, because you've got to be a really good dancer, because Steam Heat is one of is the highlight, is the sort of 10 o'clock number really.
And as we've seen in Kath and Kim,
Jane's got the moves.
Jane's got the moves.
She's got the moves.
She's got the moves.
Jane was in the original Globos when we first moved to Sydney. When we first went professional and went up to Sydney.
I remember.
Jane was in the Globos.
I remember from being told that. I wasn't actually allowed to go and see the Globos when I was in year 2. However, I was taken to Rocky Horror in year 2. That's a different story.
We'll save that for another podcast, and you have to listen to it, Mark. It's a really interesting story.
The Rocky Horror, that reminds me of another potentially great Gladys would be Joan Brockenshire, who was in the Melbourne production, the original Melbourne production of Rocky with Max Phipps and Tommy Dysart. Yeah, she was a terrific dancer and a vaudevillian.
Who have you cast as oblivious president of the local union and skirt chaser?
Who would be good for that? Oh, Colin Lane.
Colin Lane.
He'd be a great skirt chaser. Yeah, from Lane on Woodley. Oh, and there's and Frank Woodley would also be a wonderful Heinzie too. Fabulous Heinzie.
Jane, who have you gone for as president your dream cast?
I've time travelled again. Bert Newton.
Brilliant.
I've gone for George Lopez and Tom Bosley.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Yes, Tom Bosley's got that very middle management member of the lodge vibe.
Yes,
that's another great thing on the Tony Awards is he played. There's the 25th annual Tony Awards is 1971, the broadcast, and everybody recreates their numbers. It's just unbelievable, and Tom Bosley recreates his Fiorello, which is really interesting, playing LaGuardia.
Yeah, it's a shame that was such a specific show that the rest of the world really couldn't put that on.
Yeah, exactly. It was about the mayor of New York. He had a very long innings as the mayor of New York.
Myron Hassler. Who have you cast, Mark?
Old Man Hassler. I think Old Man Hassler, let me think, who would I love as Bert could be a good Old Man Hassler, but you need someone with a big boomy voice, don't you? I'm trying to think. I haven't been able to decide on who Old Man Hassler. Who do you think?
Do you think Bryn Terfel could do the role?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, but a bit of a waste of the voice, though. Does
that's the
Old
thing.
Man Hassler have a song in the stage show? He must have. I imagine he probably does.
Oh, I can't recall. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he
don't think
might
he does. So
sing
there's a
even
waste of
if-
Bryn Terfel. Oh, I know. Warlow. Warlow would be fantastic, but again,
Yeah.
wasting it, but
Anthony
wasting his
Warlow.
voice.
Our issue is that we obviously don't see enough straight plays to know who's got great projection, who doesn't sing.
Bit of a thankless role, though, isn't it? Really, because all he does is bluster and blow. He doesn't have a huge amount of scenes, does he?
Well, I've casted in that kind of thought of a cameo. However, I don't know about the projection because I know this man from the screen. Alan Dale.
Oh, I know who'd be great. Peter Gers. I think Peter Gers would be sensational as Old Man Hassler.
Did you know that he has just finished playing Sheridan Whiteside in a very
I certainly
acclaimed
do.
production?
And Wilsey told me that he was fantastic.
Yes, it has had rave reviews, and Michael Griffiths was also in it.
Now, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, when Mark talks about Willsey, we're talking about Adelaide's own Anne Wills.
Indeed, we
Of
are.
course.
Legend.
The winner of the most Logies.
Indeed, she
Yes.
is.
Your TV awards here in Australia.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
We do.
That's right.
16% of our audience is from the UK. So
Oh, there you go.
This-
Anne Wilsey Wills is a legend, and I've worked a lot with her over the years, and I adore her.
I love Anne
She's a
Wills.
great natural
I really
comedian
do.
and a great performer.
I do love Anne Wills, and if I wasn't married to Jane, I'd ask her out.
well, thanks.
But we got up to Mabel.
No, I'm just going to let you know my casting for Myron.
Oh, yeah.
Charles Durning, who was the mayor in The Best Little Whorehouse of Texas, the movie,
Oh, yeah.
and Lex Marinos.
Oh, Lex Marinos. He'd be
He'd pack
good.
a punch.
Yeah, he'd be good.
He'd be a surprise.
But I
packet,
think
reckon.
I do think Gers. I can see Gers booming and blustering away very, very convincingly.
Mabel.
Mabel could be Magda Jabansky.
Yes.
Heinze. She'd be great.
I've got Colette Mann.
Oh, fabulous! Yes.
I've gone with Florence Henderson
Mm-hmm.
and Nolene Brown.
Oh, Nolene Brown would be a wonderful Mabel. Yeah, Nolene Brown would be superb. Yeah, it's got to be dry and droll.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Wilsey.
Oh, yes! Wilsey would be fantastic.
Wilsey would be a wonderful Mabel.
We might be
I don't
able
want
to
to do
really
a Mabel.
this
I
show
don't
with
want
Bob
to do.
and Jane Van der Stoel and Wilsey.
Yeah, that's my dream. But cast it with all Australian clowns. Why not?
The
The
Wollongbar
Wollongbar players.
Bar players on tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who have you cast as Pop?
Oh, Pop. Well, again, Gers could be a good Pop if we were doing it in Adelaide. Who else would be a wonderful Pop? Oh, well, who do you think? Let me have a think while you think.
Okay, Jane, who have you cast as Pop?
Shane Jacobson.
Yes.
He'd be a good Old Man Hassler too.
Oh, yes.
Now, I have cast John Ritter
Okay.
and Robert Reed.
Oh yeah,
Lovely
Okay.
dads.
Lovely dads.
and Murray Field, of course, would have been a great Pop.
Oh, true.
And again, he doesn't have to sing, does he? He doesn't. That Pop doesn't really get a song.
What about the dad from Leave It to Beaver? He'd be great.
He'd be great.
So have
Yeah.
you thought...
And John Mellion. John Mellion would have been.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Yes. Yes.
He could have been a great Myron too.
John Mellon was absolutely wonderful in They're a Weird Mob.
Mm-hmm.
What a role for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Crocodile Dundee.
Even, yeah.
Yes.
I tell you who else would be really good as Old Man Hassler would be Sandy Gutman. Ostentatious. He'd be
Yes.
terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
The physical presence and the projection, but not
Yeah.
a singer necessarily.
No, but I'm not. But I just want to say I'm not touring with him because he's crazy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes. Exactly. Nothing more needs to be said.
You've got to have fun. You have to be having fun backstage because I think it comes across on stage.
That's what it...
We finished the Dreamcast.
Yes, we have.
We finished our Dreamcast of the Pajama Game.
We have.
And I tell you, I think my music director would be Danny Bourne, the brilliant Danny Bourne. It's brother of Shane, has an incredible band in Melbourne called the Shuffle Club, and he is a great, great musician and can play jazz like nobody else.
Do you know,
So he'd really swing it.
do you have an idea for a director?
Me.
Oh, I think. And who's going to do the choreo?
Kelly Abbey.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Kelly Abbey is the greatest choreographer working in Australia.
The knowledge inside her brain would just be immense.
But also she has an incredible pop sensibility. She's done all the steps over the years for Human Nature. Have you ever seen Human Nature live? They are extraordinary. They move so beautifully.
I remember your brother.
She's done all their choreo. She choreographed both of their Vegas shows, and they were two of the best cabaret shows I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, really something. Yeah. She knows about shapes. She's very inspired by Fosse, I think. Yeah. She knows about using the human body to create stage pictures. Mm. She can move everybody around sensationally.
Listeners, we have Mark poised to reveal what is behind door number 10.
Open that door, Mark.
Oh my God, it's my all-time favourite Sondheim musical, his masterwork, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Oh, love it. I love it. And I'm so glad you gave it its full title there.
What a show. What a show. Oh. What a show.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
No, it's been my pleasure. Fabulous. Thanks, darlings. All the best.
Love you.
See ya. Thank you for joining us once again on
Another Opening, Another Show,
the Musical Theatre Podcast.
I've had so much fun today talking to Mark.
Oh, we could have gone on for hours.
I love the man.
Yeah, he's brilliant dancer.
He is now a friend of the podcast, and we would love to have him and all our guests back on more episodes of Another Opening, Another Show.
Yes, if you have anyone you'd like us to go and ask, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
Or if you know a lot about the musicals that are coming up, give us a line, send us an email, drop us a message on our socials.
We do not need everybody to be a star. We love people who are as enthusiastic as we are. And that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her. And me.
We're not the two Ronnies.
Although we wear dark rimmed glasses and we look like the two Ronnies. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. From Another Opening, Another Show.
The Musical Theatre Podcast. Bye for now.
Bye.